Wow, I don't want that to happen to me while I'm playing around with this thing. This is a huge power supply. It's a TCR 300 S2. 300 volt output, 2 amps. What I plan on doing with this is tinkering around with some capacitors, charging them just to different voltages for a project that I'm just playing with. And I want to be able to turn this up, set it to a certain voltage, and charge the cap, and you know, simple, easy stuff, right? Well, when I'm charging something like this, it's 150 volts. I don't want to go up to 150. I want to go below it. I want to stay below it. But you've seen what happens when this thing decides it wants to pump too much power through a capacitor. Could you imagine this thing blowing up 300 volts into 150 volts? So, and there's, you know, I could use other precautions, I guess, but that ain't the way you should be able to use one of these. So the problem is a faulty voltage potentiometer. So what we need to do is we need to replace this with another one, because this one is it's really flaky. If you just turn this up, this is a 10 turn pot, so each time I roll my finger I'm only going a quarter of a turn or half a turn, and it already jumped up past 50. So it doesn't do nothing. A little bit, there you go, a little bit after it jumps up it doesn't do anything until it goes back down a little bit. But you see, I didn't turn it too much more and it jumped up past 100. Now if I just keep going, 125, 100, whoa, 300 volts, and I'm only one turn in. So you definitely don't want to have that happen when you're tinkering around with capacitors. So yeah, I might have been about a 1.5 turns in when it jumped up to 300 volts, because there's 1.5, and it's still going down. But let's just say you're wanting to set this someplace. Well, we got to wait until it comes down, because most of the time it's just sensitive like that apparently. So we start turning this up to set it at let's say we want 150. Okay, it went up a little, went down, went up a little bit, it's going up. I think I'm getting close to 150. Boom, it jumps over 150. Now it's going down again, so I want to go back up. Oh, almost up to 200. So yeah, this thing is not very safe. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this thing open and look into swapping this thing out. I need to move my camera so you can get a better view on the inside, and we'll go from there. Alright, there we go. The inside. Got some big things in there. Main transformer, inductor. Look at the size of that cap. I don't know what size that is, but I'll tear into this a little more, and I'll put up pictures and stuff so you can see the different stuff that's going on in here. I won't do it all on camera, but because I looked this over a little bit a long time ago, and what it takes to let's say what it takes to find out what value that cap is you have to take the front off. There's 2 screws in the side, and then while the front is just hanging here, this whole inside will slide off, will slide back that way, and then you pull the outside shell forward, and that's it looks like it's a task. And I'll take some, when I do that, I'll take some pictures and stuff and show you what I see everywhere. But yeah, the only circuit board that's in there. Don't have a clue what these are. If anybody knows what those are, I'll take a picture to get a closer view of that. I think they might be diodes or maybe some kind of power resistor or something. I'm not even sure. But yeah, so you probably can't see it, but we got to get right down here to pop that out. But I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what's going on the inside, and I know the camera's at an angle and stuff, and I'll try to take a picture head on, so this way you can see, you know, get a better view of everything. But yeah, 300 volts at 2 amps, and it's also has, you can see on the back of the circuit board here, it has a bunch of stuff for remote access back here for monitoring and stuff like that. A bunch of screw points. But I'll take a picture of that, put it up here. But yeah, alright, I'm going to I think maybe I'll change this camera around and speed through me replacing that there. I actually had one laying around. My uncle, he does a lot of electronic stuff, or used to. He actually had one laying around that matches that one exactly, so we're going to put this in there. And I already put the ohm meter on here and turned it real slow and watched the numbers change, and they're perfect, just the way they're supposed to be. So we shouldn't have a problem with this one. Just want to give you a little show. I got the meter in ohms, and I have it connected across the new potentiometer that we put in there, and you can see as I turn it slowly, goes up real nice, just like it's supposed to. Just nothing wrong with that. Alright, looks good, looks good. I mean, it's jumping because I'm turning it pretty quick, but if I turn it slow, you can see that it works out pretty good. It's not jumping all over the place. So that works out pretty good. Turn that all the way down. Now if I take these off this one and put on this old one, I just soldered across a solder braid or whatever there just to put something on there. But get that wire off there. Connected on this one. This should be connected the same way as it was. Now if you watch that number, I'll just turn this real slow and you watch that number there. It's a bigger difference. Look at, see, it just freaked out a little bit. You can see as I'm turning it up, it's just jumping all over the place, losing contact. It's just, look at that, it was already 5K. I think it's sitting at 5K right there, and I'm not even turned that far yet. I'm not even close. Now we're back down to 1K, and I'm going the same way, turning it up. So you can see that's the problem we were having. You can see it's jumping in between the numbers all over. 2K I've seen, 4K I've seen, and we're just about reaching 2K right now. So yeah, it's definitely bad. So that's why we had to get that thing out of there. So, junk. All right, I'm gonna get myself all situated here. Get this camera moved again, and I'm gonna take some time and do what I told you. Take this apart a little bit more and get some pictures and stuff like that, and I'll just post them up on the screen here so you can kind of see what's going on. Alright, got it all put back together. Now before we try it out, let's take a look at some of the pictures. The things that I didn't have a clue what they were. I thought were diodes, or I don't know, high power resistors or something. You can see a part number or something on one side, and then directly on the other side of it you see a plus at one end, a minus at the other end, and some squiggly line in the middle. I don't know what that is. So if anybody has an idea on what these things are, yeah, let me know. It'll be interesting to find out. Here's a picture of the back. You can see the inputs and outputs, the monitoring and all that kind of stuff that's in the back. I don't know, I don't have a manual for this, so I have no clue how to use it, exactly what it controls or anything. If you can do this stuff, change the voltage and current remotely, I would guess that you could, but like I said, I don't have a manual. I mean, I guess they're $30 or something online, but I'm not using this for anything serious, so I don't see myself buying one. And then we got another picture of the front, the top. I wanted to show you you know, kind of a close-up view of everything from the top down, so this way you can get a good eyeful on that and study that if you want. And then if we take it and flip it completely over, this is what we found on the bottom. A whole bunch more stuff I didn't even know was down there. I wouldn't have no reason to know what's down there. But a couple, looks like another circuit board towards the bottom there by the table. Some resistors, diode, capacitors, you know, the usual. But yeah, I didn't suspect that stuff being down there at all. A couple close-up shots of the that little board that's down there. Some kind of a inductor or transformer setup. I didn't follow none of the wires or anything, so I can't guarantee exactly what it's for. Then up above that we got just resistors, capacitors, and you can see the fan there, and just interesting stuff in there. And the capacitor, 3300 microfarads at 350 volts DC. Although it doesn't say microfarads or farads or anything, so I'm just assuming that's what it is. 36DX, I didn't look that up to see if it what the data sheet said, but yeah, that was on, that number was on the bottom, so never would have saw that from the top. All right, we saw the pictures, we saw the inside. Now let's show it working, hopefully, right? There, I'll even I connected my meter to the output, so we can kind of judge the output from the gauge here, and hopefully it all reads the same, right? If it don't, then we're in trouble. Let me zoom the camera in a little bit here. I'll try to get it over in that area a little bit better. Try not to get the light in the on the meter. Maybe like that. That's all the way down. So it's just floating in the millivolt range there. So let's just turn it up. Or 20 volts. Looks nice and smooth so far. Let's get up here to 50 volts and see what it does. That's about 50 volts on here. It's about 50 volts on here. Seems nice and steady. Nothing wrong with that. Let's go up to 100. Looks pretty good. It's not jumping around, that's what we like. 150. 200. 250. I'm looking at it at an angle, but I'm looking at the meter too. Let's see, 300. That's all the way up. Can't turn it no more. 301.3, something like that. So that's good. Looks like we fixed that, got rid of that problem. Crank it all the way down and it just slowly discharges that big capacitor in there. This way we don't get zapped of it touching the outputs or anything. Of course, they got a cover that goes over it, so you shouldn't get zapped. You shouldn't even be playing around with it, but yeah. But that looks like it's a good fix. Now I can use this for playing around with charging caps to whatever voltage I want without having them blow up on me. Alright, I guess that's it for this one. We'll see you in the next one.